Welcome to the Cardinals Squad Show. My name is Benjamin Garcia, host of the Ben Garcia Show and a credentialed Arizona sports media member. The Arizona Cardinals defense is getting healthy. What does the defensive ceiling look like for this team?
Jamil Douglas, former NFL offensive lineman. Kyler Murray's back in the lineup. Is the offense ready to roll?
Alice Clancy, Locked on Cardinals. It's all or nothing. The season is all or nothing. Comes down to week 9. Let's get it.
Rise up, Red Sea. It's the Cardinals Squad. Everything Arizona Cardinals every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the Valley of the Sun. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Gear up and squad up. The Cardinals Squad Show starts now.
What is up? Welcome back into the Cardinals Squad Show. There is a lot of things to get into, so I will keep this part brief. But wherever you are listening, however you are listening, thank you so much for tuning in to the show. We got a lot of things to get into. But first, today's episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at Game Time. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. With that being said, the Arizona Cardinals are getting healthy. Let's just take it from a general perspective, and then we can talk deeper into the offense, what it looks like, all of those different types of things. But Clancy, I'll start off with you. You're the one that kind of came up with this on social media and as well on your own show. What does a healthy Cardinals team look like, Clancy?
Well, I mean, they haven't been this healthy since week 2, but it's a matter of what they do with that health that is the most important. And I think Jamil called this before the season started, really at the end of week 1 when the offense didn't look great, didn't really have an identity. So I thought about that a lot over the last week with the bye week and stuff. And I think we're looking at this all wrong. The Cardinals have been pretending to try to be something that they're not instead of just leaning into what they are. They're a functional defense and a dysfunctional offense. So why not hyper-focus on making that defense the most dangerous and venomous it can possibly be, which will allow the offense to be like a damn baby giraffe, week 9 still not being able to walk for 60 minutes. I think it's the best way to be able to weather the storm and get them back into relevancy this season. And with Walter Nolan back, you would expect him to play this week. Garrett Williams, you'd expect him to play as well. This defense can go up against any offense in the NFL and go toe-to-toe with them, and they just got to do it for 4 quarters. I think the Cardinals can actually turn the season around. If they do that, if that defense levels up and they give up less than 20 points a game, around 20, even an incompetent offense in this day and age can put up 20 points a game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think from a standpoint of what this team looks like going forward, getting a little more healthy, getting firepower back on defense, they're going to have to lean into that side of the ball. I referenced this maybe a week ago in terms of, before the Baltimore Ravens had the Derrick Henry and Lamar was still trying to figure out himself as a quarterback in the NFL. What they did really well and they won games doing this was their defense was the heart and soul of that team. They were known for when you play the Baltimore Ravens, it was going to be a tough matchup defensively, and their offense was going to just take advantage of opportunities, and that's how they were winning games. The Cardinals have to take the same approach. I think at this point, we can't keep talking about when is the offense going to wake up? When are we going to find the identity? When is Kyler going to go to that MVP form? Like we can't hyperfixate on that anymore. We have to just understand this offense is going to be what it's going to be. I think the last 2 weeks prior to the bye week, if we see a drop off from that, that's going to be tough to stomach because we saw it with Jacoby, right? So we obviously want to see them continue to play the way they've been playing, but build upon that, getting your first string quarterback back in the lineup. So I agree in terms of the defense being the heart and soul. I just want to see the offense pick up where they've kind of gotten into a little bit of a rhythm the past 2 weeks before the bye.
I mean, to be fair, to also piggyback off of Clancy's point, we saw what the Arizona Cardinals looked like fully healthy. They were 2-0. And that win against the Carolina Panthers looks a little bit better now because the Carolina Panthers have kind of ever since the Cardinals game figured things out a little bit. So, you also talk about they played with their food a little bit in that game. Will Johnson probably stays healthy. Garrett Williams probably stays healthy because they're beating that team by a ton. I don't know if I could say, because they've dug themselves such deep of a hole that, if this team could actually be able to turn the season around, I don't know. My honest to God fear of this, Clancy, is that they end up somewhere in the middle. Is that Kyler Murray plays to how Kyler Murray plays right now, which is like, I think at this point, an average level quarterback in the NFL. When you add that into it, plus a defense that was always playing as well as it was when it was fully healthy, the worry for me is like, what if they end up 7-10, and then they don't have the opportunity to draft a quarterback?
Well, I mean, them drafting a quarterback's kind of a leap. Also, we don't know. I mean, again, watch football, like college football. It's been gross. I mean, there's the Indiana quarterback, and there's another one. They're going to go in the top 5. Cardinals aren't going to the top 5, or something went even more crazily wrong than it has already. Like, I understand that they are on the far outside looking in. I completely understand it. I understand why, and the mix of this is my rose-colored glasses. Look, going into week 9. Okay, this defense is healthy. Okay, as we mentioned multiple times. They've played well. They've kept teams 21 points or less when they're healthy. This offense doesn't have an identity still because, and I said this before the season started, they're not letting Kyler Murray just go. Like, it's run the ball, whoever's the running back. Why? Let Kyler Murray get in space, and this is like a Drew Petzing thing where it's like an effort. Let's have a Kyler Murray check. There's the one check, there's a run, check to a pass, and then a Kyler Murray just go thing. If you're going to go nuts, just go nuts. Who cares? Like, this is like, if the Cardinals lose on Monday night, everything is over. Like, Kyler Murray's not the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals anymore. We don't know what happens if they fire anybody, if they should or they shouldn't. But 2-6 is far removed from 2-5 and 3-5. Right?
What are we saying in terms of allowing Kyler Murray to clarify that, please?
Fantastic question. So, regardless of how well Kyler Murray's playing in the specific game, whatever, 1st and 10, handoff. 2nd and 8, handoff. Like, you're crippling his ability to be the demon that he is when he's great. And I know that this is a grandiose thing, and obviously you can pinpoint reasons here and there, but like, have you seen Kyler Murray, aside from 2 quarters in Tennessee, just go balls to the wall and just run all over the field like a crazy person? Like, that's when he's at his best, when he's off script. So let him be off script, even if it's completely counterintuitive to how a normal offense is run.
Yeah, I feel like he's okay. So in terms, when I played in Buffalo, right, I used to wear a little headset on the sidelines if I was inactive. That's just how it goes sometimes. Yeah. I would hear a lot of the play calls for Josh Allen, and the offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll, at the time would, let's say he calls a play, right? Hey, this is 20 book skim. We're running inside zone to the right. If you don't like it, OSP. He would say that in the headset, off script play. That's so cool. If you don't like it, off script play, because the risk is worth the reward in terms of what Josh Allen can create when it is put on his plate. I think in terms of where Kyler is, I don't think that he's made enough of those or had enough of those moments in which you say he made us right. This was a bad call, but he made us right based off of what he did. I think if there's a bad call on offense, it typically goes bad on the field. And so he's kind of handicapped in terms of like, hey, just be great out there, because I don't think that they want him. They don't give him that freedom of saying,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because he hasn't done it in terms of like, if we call a bad play, you made us right. So, okay, now we trust the fact that we can say OSP if you don't like it,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Before we dive deeper into the Kyler Murray side of it, is there a world, like Clancy said this today, and I thought this was interesting. Is there a world where Jacoby Brissett should be starting because he gives them the best chance to win, maybe not the highest ceiling. Like, does bringing Kyler Murray back actually help that much more at all, if at all, Clancy? Because you're the one saying that like a season could turn around. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not like, obviously all of these things are far-fetched, man. Like, the Cardinals are not in a good spot. I think Dan Orlovsky put the tweet out that the Cardinals have the third best point differential in the history of football for a team that's 2-5, and the other 2-5 teams made the playoffs. So you can't negate the fact that they've lost 5 games by 13 points. Like, it's there. It's an entity. So when you look at that with the Jacoby Brissett thing, yes, as Jamil has said for weeks, the right move is to start Jacoby Brissett, and the best thing for the Cardinals is to start Kyler Murray, and both can be true. And that's where you kind of split your brain down the middle. But the fireworks are Kyler Murray. The girl next door is Jacoby Brissett. We're far removed from the girl next door situation right now. Like, this is code red. And if you're going to go down, you go down with, with a cloud of dust. Like, that's Kyler Murray. It just is. He can do more things. But
no,
I'm saying it's,
for sure. It's about to get as black and white as it can get right now. Like, this last stretch of games is, like you said, make or break. We're not going to be having this conversation next season. This is it right here. So, you come off the bye week, you're putting your guy in because you paid him and you believe that's the right thing to do. Where I have an issue with it because I feel like whoever gives you the spark, you run with the guy who gives you the spark. But they're in a position of like, is he our guy? We need to find out. We're all about to find out these next couple of weeks of the season left.
It's going to be so interesting that if the Arizona Cardinals lose this game, the amount of people that are going to say, well, the offense just looks different. If they just called it the same way they did with Jacoby Brissett, like, it would just be funny to think that maybe that they would box this offense in for their starting quarterback. Here's the other thing I want to say. Do we expect everyone to play on Monday night? Like, do we think BJ Ojulari is going to play?
No. He hasn't played since 1996. Like, there's no way he's playing. He's only activated tomorrow. Like, there's no way. Even if it's a short week going to Seattle the next week, you would think. But, I mean, listen, I'm not Rap Sheet or, Pelissaro or whatever, but ain't no way he's playing 96 hours. Jamil?
Yeah.
He hasn't played in 700 days.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he's playing Sunday, right?
Yeah, nah. I mean, they're opening up his window this week.
Tomorrow,
so, tomorrow. In terms of, like, usually there's a ramp up. There's guys that have to get, you got to practice with a helmet on and then practice with shoulder pads on and things like that. So unless he just is in great football shape and he's ready to go, I don't think he's going to be out there this week. I think next week we can probably put a pitch count on it, but you got to get there first,
Jamil, why is it taking so long? I don't know if you've ever had a torn ACL, but like, why is it taking so long? This is a guy that got injured in training camp last year. He didn't play a single game.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, ACLs are, I guess tricky. I mean, we see guys tear them all the time, right? But we don't really know in terms of what his recovery was like and things like that. In terms of pass rushing, if the knee doesn't feel right, like, guys just go through their own kind of process in terms of if their body feels like they're able to go. So I don't know why it's taking so long, but I do think that, they'd rather be safe than sorry in terms of rushing someone back from an ACL.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more excited about Walter Nolan, man. Like, Walter Nolan's
100%.
Like,
100%, but he hasn't been a mystery.
No, and BJ, and it's weird because obviously Adrian Peterson is the one who came back like 10 days later or whatever it was, 6 months later from an ACL. You'd expect things to be more expedited than they've been, and I mean, it's a mystery. But if he comes back and he's 70% of what people think he is 2 weeks from now, and Walter Nolan comes in week one of him playing in the NFL and he's 75% of what his peak is going to be, like, he comes in and he rips right away, quick twitch next to Calais and Dalvin, and Garrett Williams comes back fully healthy, like, dude, this defense is going to be, fringe top 5 for the next 5 years. and you just rinse and repeat with somebody else with Calais and Dalvin up front. So that's why I'm talking about leaning on the defense. These young kids can go, man. And they've got Nick Roush just needs to take the restrictor plate off, because we all know he's been playing it very safe during large chunks of these games instead of just taking it to him, like we've seen at other times.
Let's dive deeper into that Cardinals offense. Most likely Kyler Murray, potentially his last stand, and let's do it next. Today's episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and honestly, there's nothing better than being the NFL season is here, and FanDuel is an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's right. Pick a bet, put $5 down, and if it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Listen, one of the reasons why I love FanDuel, it just makes it a little bit more fun for me to have a little skin in the game. I think it's fun to kind of test your sports knowledge. Like, I think the Cardinals could win, but maybe I want to, put an alt line here. Maybe I think they're going to win by more than 3. Maybe I think they're going to win by 7 points. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. All right, let's talk about that Arizona Cardinals offense featuring Kyler Murray. Clancy kind of mentioned this. And I thought it was interesting because this is kind of something that I talked about earlier in the morning on my own stuff, was if you're Kyler Murray and you have been someone who I feel like has really tried to not throw interceptions, like oftentimes, yes, sometimes he does it to the degree where he's directly throwing it to the other team. However, this should be the time where Kyler Murray just cuts it loose downfield. Like, no risk it, no biscuit style. Just go out there. And to me, I used this analogy this morning. It feels like a UFC fighter that's in the 5th round of a championship fight that knows that they are going to lose and they got to go down swinging. And the only way they're going to come out of this is if they knock the dude out. What do you think the offense will look like under Kyler? And what do you think the Kyler Murray, what should the mindset be, Jamil?
I don't know. Listen, I don't like this whole Kyler Murray needs to cut it loose and he needs to do. I don't like it. From a Kyler Murray perspective, he kind of does. He's not a cut it loose type of player. That's just not the reality.
Why?
He doesn't have the ability to do that. Like, he's not. He hasn't shown us that. When has Kyler cut it loose and it's been like, yeah, this is it right here? He's always been a calculated type of player. Like, he's not very high risk in terms of a quarterback. Like, when you think of a Baker Mayfield, we can say with conviction, Baker Mayfield cuts it loose when he plays. He's fitting the ball in tight windows. He's making the throw that's not supposed to be made. I don't think that we want Kyler to cut it loose and just say, somebody's down there, I'm throwing it, because I just don't feel like he's shown us that. What I do think Kyler needs to do is, and this is like it's stepping on a crack, right? It's like he needs to be more aggressive in terms of what he does within his game. So if you have a pull read, pull that thing and take off.
Go.
Things like that, like the RPO, don't just hand it off because it's comfortable. Like, truly read it out, and if you can get it there, get it there. Like, I just feel like we need to see more of an aggressive style from him. But I don't like the term "cut it loose" because it doesn't hit my brain the right way. That just might be me, but. That's what I feel like we need to see from him.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler's a lot more Tua than he is Josh Allen.
100%.
And that.
Oh yeah.
100%.
And it's fine. He's not Tua, but Tua. Like, I'll tell you what, Tua, without any sort of friction, is a surgeon with the football. Like, he doesn't have the biggest arm, but anything, sideline to sideline, inside 15 yards, he's a surgeon. Kyler Murray's not that either. But it's like, I want Kyler Murray to have 40 touches on Monday night, whatever that means. It's RPO into a throw where it's him. Like, because Jamil's right. Like, out of all, say they run the ball 25 times a game, 8 of them are lazy. It's just like, okay. And that could be Kyler Murray saying, you know what? I can call hot. I can check. I can kill it and see Michael Wilson on the third corner of Dallas, who's me at this point. This is the worst defense in the NFL, and just huck it. Those kind of things, yes, in his control, but in his control needs to widen. What he's controlling and what he's able to do, he restricts himself, as Jamil said. This offense restricts him a little bit too. It's like, just let him go. So when you say let it rip, I agree, and I'm 100% not talking about throwing the ball 40 yards down the field.
Okay.
I'm talking about playing like you're not wearing any pants. Just go. Just go play football. Start up and go play football. And
hey, I have
you just don't see, which for some reason or another.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this really quickly, Jamil Clancy. Yeah, I think maybe Clancy is too, that we're kind of on the fence about Kyler. What if we talked about it like this? Should Kyler Murray even be getting one last stand? Like, we can agree, like, this is it, right? They lose on Monday, like, this is it. But should he be getting this? Like, is this something where the Cardinals should just go with Jacoby Brissett and say, like, this guy gives us the best chance to win? Maybe it's a lower ceiling, but, I mean, should they still be doing this, be going on this roller coaster, Jamil?
I mean, should they? Probably not, but they're going to, just for reasons that we've talked about. Like, he's the guy that they paid. He's been the number one quarterback, and this is it right here. Like, after this year, you don't have to wonder, is he your guy or is he not your guy? You're about to find out in this last stretch of the season. So, like I said, it's going to get as black and white as it can get throughout the last stretch of the season, and all questions will be answered, and we will not be having this conversation next year, because they're about to find out.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this last week. It's the same thing. For how much of dysfunction the Arizona Cardinals have just, coursing through their veins, this is not dysfunction. This is what every organization would do. This isn't like it's not they're 2-8 and you pull them. It's like, all right, well, laying on the sword here. We're making moves at the end of the year. Like, they lost both of those games. It's not like they're 2-0. The offense looked better. That's fine. But they lost both of the games. Again, like, it's so close. It's so close.
Is
it? Of course it is.
Jamil, is it close?
What is close?
Okay. I guess I should.
The decision's close. It's closer than it's ever been. Kyler Murray's never had anybody breathing down his neck.
Never
breathing down his neck. The decision's close, but it's still Kyler Murray. Like, it would be lunacy to start Jacoby Brissett, even though it's probably the right move. It's not even optics. It's not the paycheck. You start your quarterback. His leg didn't fall off.
The motto is always, in terms of offensive line, you always hear the best five will play. The best players will play. Like, that, to me, has to echo throughout the whole organization.
But let me ask you about Marcus Mariota.
Sure.
Okay, specifically. And then Ryan Tannehill took over. Was it obvious that it was time? Marcus Mariota wasn't an NFL quarterback throwing the ball when he came in. They ran that spread offense in Oregon. Like, he didn't have to throw the ball.
Right.
Like, was it obvious? Were you like, you know what? I get it.
Well, yeah. In terms of the way the season was going, but I'm going to just be 100% honest. It wasn't like we were like, Ryan Tannehill's going to be the answer and we're going to go on this run when he gets in. I think, and I'm speaking in terms of what I observed, I think Vrabel just wanted new energy on the offense, and that was the decision that was made. And so when we look at what Jacoby's done in the last 2 weeks, it's hard to sit here and say that he hasn't brought new energy. We saw Marv start to make plays. We saw Trey McBride has always been a playmaker, but we've seen him kind of, reemerge in a dominant way. And we've even, I promise you guys, the first couple of weeks of the season, I didn't know Zay Jones and Michael Wilson was on the team.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they're making a catch here and there and moving the chain. So it's tough to say, okay, Jacoby hasn't brought that because he's done what I think Tannehill did for us with the Titans. Now, they're just in. I would say Marcus and Kyler are kind of in the same position that they were in. You know, it's just I think the coaching staffs are different in terms of like going against the grain. Vrabel doesn't have an issue with being labeled the bad guy as long as he makes the decision that's right for the team. We haven't seen that from Gannon yet.
I know Easy in the chat is a madman, but I thought this was in a madman in a good way. Good dude. We love our listeners. Yeah, listen, I'm a little crazy. I'm a little crazy too. But I thought but this is exactly what I was going to ask you guys. Who do you guys think Trey McBride and the pass catchers want to play? Then here, let me follow up with this. Do the Cardinals actually think that they can still make a playoff run, or are they just trying to figure out if Kyler Murray is the guy? Because those are two separate conversations.
Two separate questions, right? Do they think they can make the playoffs? The Cardinals can't even think about the playoffs right now. They're thinking of being 1-0 coming off of the bye week. That is what's being preached. Who do the receivers want? Trey McBride doesn't care because Kyler's gonna look for him, and he knows Jacoby's gonna look for him. Now, and I will say we were seeing Kyler kind of give the opportunities to Marv and things like that. But I think the better, I don't want to say better thrower of the ball, but the better decision maker with the ball has been Jacoby in terms of who's open and getting the ball to them.
Well, that goes with taking more chances too. He takes more 100%. Chances. Like he'll throw guys open and
100%
picked off, except for that bad one on the little game where he got bumped.
And there's I know I keep going back to this, but like some of the plays Jacoby should get sacked on that Kyler would be sacked. Jacoby's delivering the ball over the defender that's in his face. So it's a different dynamic in terms of like this offensive line's not great. They're good. They're not great. So they're going to let up pressure, and Jacoby's willing to stand in there, and his arm angle is different than Kyler. So it just presents a different type of benefit.
This defense gave up 40 points to Russell Wilson. Okay. There's no world
400 yards
if they give up if they score less than 30 points, I don't care what it looks like. There's just going to be a drag it out game. This is going to be in the 50s or 60s, man. The Cardinals defense is not going to be able to keep up. This Cowboys offense is absolutely legit, bona fide, star-studded. The Cardinals are going to have to score 35 points to win this game. And if they can't against this defense, that's a wrap. There's so many that's a wrap moments for Kyler Murray in this game.
We're going to dive deeper into Cowboys-Cardinals tomorrow. But, like, if the Cardinals have the significantly better defense and the defense of the Cowboys is god-awful and Clancy is saying that they should score 30 points, like, this feels like a game that is primed for the Cardinals to kind of blow out a team, right? Like this
not with
isn't
that
the
offense.
Giants.
That Cowboys offense is recession-proof, dude.
Yeah, they can score. They can score. They can score against anybody. I think. Right. I don't think you want this to get into a shootout. Like,
no,
this is not the team to get into a shootout with. This is a team in which you want to keep their offense off of the field as much as possible, and you got to get points at the end of drives, whether it's field goals. I would say you have to get touchdowns, but this isn't a team you want to get into a shootout with.
Yeah.
I guess I would ask lastly, when it comes to Kyler, do you guys think ultimately it's going to be a positive approval on after Monday's game? Like, forget if they win or not. I'm not asking for predictions. I'm just saying, do you think he comes out of this game and looks elite? Wouldn't it be so Kyler to have 350 yards passing, 50 yards rushing, 4 total touchdowns in this game?
And just shut us all up, yeah.
Just for a week.
Well, and then you go to CenturyLink or whatever the hell they call it now in Pacific Northwest. I mean, dude, whatever. This is going to be a stay of execution potentially. If they lose this game, bye-bye. Right? We'll talk about this tomorrow, but I mean, like, I'm not saying trade him. I'm saying, like, the season's over.
I've already went back. I've already said I think. Well, you're saying season or Kyler?
Yes,
both.
I'm not saying you're going to sit Kyler. I'm just saying 2026 will not be K1.
I don't even know why I asked that question because I'm already out. I'm not going to do the thing where I keep going back and forth. Kyler's got to do it for a longer stretch of period for me to finally be like, all right, I was wrong. Like, I've seen him be elite for a game. But with that being said, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. We got a lot of different guys coming back into this game. So let's talk about that and much more next.
I'm Cody Rourke from Locked On Broncos, and this episode is brought to you by Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most advanced equipment yet, giving you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or you're cross-training with your favorite instructors like Alex Toussaint. It's training reimagined to make your workout more personal. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with features that help you plan, stay motivated, and hit peak performance. You can let yourself run, lift, flex, and go while Peloton handles all the rest. Plus, Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching, tracking your progress and suggesting weights that challenge you so you can get stronger. Plus, the new movement tracking camera, it counts your reps and corrects your form in real time, making sure every rep is safer and smarter. So let yourself run, lift, flex, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross-Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
All right, guys, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. The Arizona Cardinals have obviously a multitude of guys coming back. What does the ceiling, and I guess the floor too as well, look like for this team, Clancy?
I mean, we've seen them give up less than 21 points for weeks at a time, even against, Seattle. They go that field goal at the end of the game, but 23 against Seattle. Teams like Jamil, in the 7 years you played in the NFL, if the defense gave 23 points and you saw that, you're like, oh, we should win 75% of these games. And is that fair? I mean, especially nowadays?
Yeah, for sure.
So we've seen what the idling is. After week 2, they played tough opponents without their best corner. He's back miraculously. I don't know if he got Mr. Miyagi or what. Like, I thought he tore his ACL. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
And, he'll be back. Will Johnson is a top 5 corner in the league by the numbers so far this year. Like, the ceiling is a top 5 defense, truly. And then the pass rush just will need to get home. Like, this is going to have to be Josh Sweat and Baron Browning doing things that they haven't been able to do. And I wonder if Walter Nolan's the skeleton key that's going to unlock this thing where if you got to do that fast and that big in the middle of the defensive line, wreaking havoc, it allows guys to get release off the edge in one-on-ones where you have to double team the guys in the interior.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, top 5. Like, look at the guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the defense has been stellar, considering you're getting help back on the back end and you're getting help up front from an interior and edge rush standpoint. So I think, realistically, top 5, got to be top 8 in terms of what you can produce for your defense. And if the Cardinals are going to make any sort of push for what, we consider a successful season, it's going to be at the disposal of the defense. Like, it's not going to be the offense just lighting it up and they're spending, or they're hold on. Jamil is delusional. He's acting like Jacoby won us a game or something. That's funny. It's going to be at the like, that's terrible. That's terrible there. That's terrible. I would argue with this person, but that's terrible. It's going to be at the disposal of the defense if they're hoping to turn this around.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear the Arizona Cardinals offense can easily be a top 5 offense with all the guys that are, or can easily be a top 5 defense with all the guys that are there. Like, without a doubt in my mind, I think it could be a top 5 defense. I mean, with Garrett Williams, Will Johnson, like we saw how good they were. We saw how good they were against the Saints and against the Panthers. And I think against the Panthers is an even better sample size for how good the Panthers have looked the past couple of weeks. The Cardinals shut them down. I'm not blaming the Cardinals defense for the Panthers getting back in the game. The Cardinals had opportunities to close the door and they never did. And because of those guys on the defense side of the ball, to me, it's more of the coaching as well. So you add Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rawlis to that, and you give them better players to be able to toy with. Yeah. And like, to answer your question too, of like, how good do they have to be? I mean, listen, I think they could be a bona fide top 5 defense, but they definitely have to be a top 3 defense to make the playoffs. Like, I don't trust the offense that much. This is a defensive-driven team now, and I don't think we thought that's what it was going to be at the beginning of the season to this degree.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, the writing was on the wall that that's what it was going to be, which is crazy. Like, all the money was spent, all the draft picks were spent. So it's like, okay, go. If this is the plan, prove it. And I think to the point of coaching, like, I'm not at the point where I'm like, what does Jonathan Gannon do? I'm not there yet, but I'm not far away at this point. If he's not calling the offense and the defense is struggling, what does he do? Like, legitimately, besides being a CEO head coach. And I think he's been great, but listen, we're going to see the true power of Nick Rallis for the rest of the year starting on Monday. Like, how psychotic is he? Like, we need to see everything. All of, like, I don't want to see a base. I want to see 4 safeties on there. I want to see DBs playing linebacker to be faster. I want to see different blitz packages. Like, this stuff needs to be in hyper speed for the rest of the year. There can't be any secret. Ooh, let's keep this till week 12. Oh, when you're 2-9? Like, come on, guys. Well, it'd be 2-8 because they're it doesn't matter. I want to see it. Like, go no restrictor plate. Nick Rallis has shown great things when they've had no talent. Now you need this defense to be great. And now they have the talent to do it. So just go do it, even though they're super young in a lot of key spots.
Yeah, I think in terms of the defense, the offense has got to sustain some drives. Like that is just with Kyler in the game. The offense has got to be productive, get points, and then allow the defense to play complementary football off of that.
But let me like, that is the dictionary definition of what you want a team to be. It's already not that. So how does the defense create the world where it's not that? That's what I've been talking about. That's what what I tried to, you said it in a better way, but like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's like, how do they do it when it's not perfect? How do they play really well when the offense isn't helping them, which is what's happened in a large chunk of the season, especially the fourth quarter where they've completely faltered. That's what you have to solve.
Yeah, but isn't some of that isn't some of that just kind of unfixable? Like
No.
Go for it.
There's been plenty of defenses in the history of time that have been able to overcome bad offenses. This is a bad offense for a large portion of the time. So, Jamil, if you're looking at an offense that you can't trust, that's how do you find the defensive elixir to be able to overcome that and still win football games? That's what's going to have to happen. Because, I mean, how do you can't trust this offense, right?
Yeah.
Do you trust this offense?
No.
So it's like complementary football is great, but like, what do you pivot to if you're not being complimented?
Yeah. Nah, listen. I hear you. It's a great question. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know the answer either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't it aggressiveness? Like, how many times have we seen, and this is not just like special to the Cardinals, how many times have we seen a defense do really, really well for 3 quarters and then back off of it completely and play, some quarters coverages, back off, give everyone the underneath stuff? Like, isn't it just as simple as keep your foot on the gas the entire game? Bring the exotic blitzes. Be okay with being beat over the top, knowing that you basically have to win the game from the defense side of the ball.
Yeah, well, the problem with that is when you're about to play a Dallas Cowboys offense where if you zero blitz them every play out the game, eventually one of those receivers is going to make a play. So, like, yes, to an extent, you want to be aggressive, but, like, let's not forget this is the NFL and there's playmakers all over the field. And when you zero blitz guys over and over, eventually someone's gonna get beat. So there's a fine line, man. I do think that we got to see an uptick in turnovers from a defensive standpoint. They got to start getting some interceptions, sack fumbles, turning the ball over and to give this offense more opportunities. That's what this offense needs. Like, this offense isn't going to go punch it in every drive. They need opportunities that they weren't supposed to get. I would love to see, what I would love to see? First play of the game, if you have to kick the ball off, I would love to see a surprise onside kick. Try to steal a possession for your team because you're going to need it at some point in time.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like,
can you still do surprise onside kicks? Just out of curiosity.
Why not?
Well, no. You have to declare it, I'm pretty sure.
Well, hey, line up in it, do it, squib it, whatever you got to do.
Yeah,
I got the point. I was just curious. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're right. The turnover thing, we thought we'd be seeing a lot more from them this year so far. Let me ask you this, because I know we got to pivot in a minute, but like this is real nerd stuff. And this is going against conventional wisdom of what the NFL is now by going for it on fourth down. This is another brain thing that I can't really understand how to comprehend yet. Should they be punting on fourth and short from the 50?
No.
So let me give my case for, and then you can 100% disagree with me. Fourth and 2 from their, or 4th and 3 from their own 48. Okay, you know what your strength is, and it's the defense. Why not coffin corner that inside the 5 and try and get a turnover deep in their territory? And if you can get a 3 and out, you're starting on the opposing side of the field anyways. If you're really going to go full bore here, realizing what your strength is, why tiptoe around it? Just take conventional wisdom out of it, because there's nothing conventional about this organization.
Because now you're saying that your offense can't pick up a 4th and 3.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm with Clancy here. 100%.
No,
100%.
Listen, you're not like, when has playing it safe worked out for the Cardinals? It doesn't. In reality,
they go for it on fourth down like 40% of the time, man. Like they go for it plenty.
Not enough. Listen, they need to go for it more. I think.
Wait.
Listen, hold on.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Anything 4th and 4 and less, and you're near midfield, leave your offense on the field. What do you have to lose?
So much.
You want to play what? You're already losing. You're 3 games under 500.
This is how the ship is. This like, so say 4th and 4 on their own 48. Okay, it's first drive of the game, whatever it is. You've got, even though Blake Gillikin's on
my defense is good, I'm going to bank on my defense holding them to a field goal.
Okay,
we'll go get another crack at it.
On the 50, you're already in Brandon Aubrey's field goal range. If they don't get another yard, he's kicking a field goal. Okay, from 67, he's going to make it.
Which
okay?
I'll take 3 points.
But if you punt it, okay, you get it inside the 10, you force a 3 and out, then you're on the other side of the field, fresh downs, and you're moving. Like, I know it's not ideal, and I know it's not smart with conventional wisdom that's going on now when everybody always goes for it. But the offense is not trustworthy. I'm not saying they can't pick up a 4th and 3. I'm saying I'd rather have this defense on the field with the opposing team inside the 10.
Listen, you got to score points to win NFL games. If I'm an offensive coordinator and it's 4th and 4 and less, obviously certain situations, if it's in the beginning of the game, first drive of the game, we're going for it. We got time to play the whole game out. Now, if it's 4th quarter and you can punt it away and play the field position thing to win the game with your defense, I get that. First quarter, though, first half, we get the ball at halftime, I'm going for it because I know that the only way I'm going to win is to create more opportunities for my offense. We don't have a ground and pound game, and we're not very efficient through the air at times. So let me try to keep my offense on the field. I know I have a good defense that can defend a short field and hopefully hold them to a field goal. So that allows me to take more risk as an offense.
But isn't Clancy saying, like, though he's leaning into his strength, you punt the ball, you put them inside their 5, you make them punt the ball again, shorter field positioning, or you force a turnover for your offense that has no ability to score 80-yard long drives, right? Clancy,
exactly. I agree with that. There's still no points on the board from your offense, though. No, at some point, you got to get some points on the board.
It's training wheels for sure, man. Like it's like, but how? When there are 0 mistakes allowed, so it's like we started with the season with a bowl of grapes. Okay, there were 10 of them. Now we have 1 left. Okay, so it's like there's all these concessions when they've lost all these games. It's like, yeah, and I understand the percentage of kicking inside the 5 or the 10. It's more so playing keep away from their end zone as opposed to giving them a short field. It's like when you say you want the defense to create opportunities, more opportunities for the offense, that's a -1 if you go for it on 4th and 4 from midfield. I don't care that they have to get 2 first downs to score points. Like, I don't think they're in a position where it's trustworthy enough to just run the play and get a first down 60% of the time or whatever it is, like Detroit does.
Right, because we haven't seen it, right? That's really the reality of it. They played it safe in terms of doing like, you don't know the card. I mean, we know, they've gone for it 40% of the time, but like, it's not a convincing, this is not a convincing, like you named the Detroit Lions. we know for a fact, opening drive, if it's 4th and 5, 4th and 4, they're staying on the field. Yeah, from anywhere. They could be on their own 30. They're going for it. The Cardinals have to create more opportunities for their offense. You have a good defense. That's why I feel like it allows you to take those chances in terms of 4th and 4 and I'm near midfield. I think my defense can hold these guys to 3 points. So I'm going to say go for it in that situation.
Per Benjamin Albright, running back incoming. What could it look like? Who could it be? And is it the right move? Let's talk about that next. Today's episode is brought to you by the lovely folks over at Game Time. Oh man, what a great place to do this ad read. The NFL season is here, and honestly, there's nothing better than being in the stadium surrounded by fans cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets can be a hassle between queues, login screens, and price jumping at checkout. It's frustrating. It's why I use Game Time. The app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, easy, and backed by the Game Time Guaranteed. You always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. Plus, all fees are included, so the price C is the price pay. I pull up the Game Time app in just a couple of taps. I saw amazing deals. I'm talking about your favorite NFL game as low as $100, or you could do what I'm doing at the Suns game right now while doing this show. I'm sure a lot of these lovely folks out here use the Game Time app, and I guarantee you got a lower price. In fact, I helped someone out today using the Game Time app, using code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off their first purchase to get to this Suns game tonight. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDON NFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code Locked On NFL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. All right, guys, let's close out the show with this right here. There was a report that came out that basically the Arizona Cardinals are cutting Darren Hall and Michael Carter. They are now back with the practice squad. But with that being said, not without Benjamin Albright throwing some fire on, or I guess I should say some grease onto this fire. Simply putting, running back incoming. The Arizona Cardinals might be in the market for a running back. They might be in the market for a lot of different things, but they'll focus on the running back position. Regardless of who it is, let's just start here. Good move, bad move, and then we could talk about some names. Clancy.
I've got like a list of Jamil-isms. And one of them is the Cardinals aren't one player away. And they're not. So they're not trading for Alvin Kamara. They're not trading for Breece Hall. Like, that's just not Monty Osborne. If Monty Osborne was a Wild West saloon owner like that, there's no way. Like, especially, like, it sucks and it's great that the trade deadline's the day after this Monday night game, because what, are you going to make it trade at 11:59 after the game's over if they win? I mean, do you have guys on the hop like, hey, I'll call you an hour after the game if we win, kind of thing? It's like, I just don't see it. I don't know if that's how it works, but I think they're just going to run with what they got, maybe trade for a depth guy, but this just needs to be a pass-first offense in some form or fashion with Kyler Murray. There's nobody you can trade that's going to make this offense automatically functional.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I've said it from the jump. I don't think that there's somebody out there that is going to just take this team over the top, this offense over the top. The list of names that's out there, I don't see the Cardinals. The Cardinals don't have such an emphasis on their run game where you could say, okay, they're definitely in play for this guy, because their offense needs a running back in order to do those type of things. They really don't. I mean, you could put someone back there that, as long as the offensive line is playing well, like, they got the guys that can be efficient enough to run their offense. So this isn't an offense that's very run heavy in terms of like, we need someone on the market now. I don't see it happening.
So two things. One, like, obviously, yeah, I think it'd be crazy. I think like the rest of us talking about the Cardinals bringing in anyone on this team because they're not one player away. But let's just say it's a depth piece. One question, why? Like, just go sign someone. Why give up any draft capital for a guy that's probably just going to be a depth piece? And if it's someone bigger, like an Alvin Kamara, not happening. Like a Breece Hall, shouldn't happen. aren't you telling on yourself, your Monty Ossenfort, that you whiffed on Trey Benson? And then you get into the Steve Keim line of thinking of, well, I screwed up on this draft pick. Got to go overpay for this big player, Clancy.
No, there's nobody saying that Trey Benson's not a guy. Like that's the whole thing. Like this is different. Say they were 5-2 or 4-3, and it's like, okay, you got to strike, you got to figure it out. They could 100%, even if they got to pay Garrett Williams and Paris Johnson Jr. this offseason, you could 100% give Breece Hall $25 million guaranteed over 3 years or whatever it is. If you wanted to strike and you didn't want the locomotive to slow down because all the running backs are hurt, you could do that, but you're not in contention, so you can't. Like this is not an indictment on Trey Benson. This is an indictment on where the Cardinals are through 8 weeks. Like it's just this is so circumstantial in the middle of the year, especially towards the trade deadline, because the win-loss record does predicate everything. So that's where they're at. Like, that's not indictment that Trey Benson isn't the guy. He's been fine. He just got hurt. So you don't really know. So I think it's stick and stay. And as Jamil said, if you've got a good offensive line, who cares who's in the running back? If it's a B- guy, who cares who it is? And they've got 2 guys already.
Yeah, no. My point, adding a depth guy, I just don't understand adding a depth guy because it just doesn't make sense because you're not close enough to be able to need just more bodies.
You need bodies.
Yeah, but you can sign someone if you need a body. I'm not interested in wasting any draft capital. But my other thing is, from the running back position, why would you want to bring in a star running back when you just drafted one in Trey Benson in the 3rd round? Like that's what I mean by you're telling on yourself. Not getting a depth piece, but getting a tier 1 level running back. That's what I mean by it.
I don't know, because James Conner's never going to play football again. Like, I think that's probably what it is, because you're looking at Trey Benson in a back starting next year. You may cut James Conner. I mean, Jamil, you look at these running backs. You see Margie Mercado as a scat back. You see Bam Knight's been fine. Like, let's take Derrick Henry out of it. You've played with a lot of average running backs for a large portion of your career, and that's not negating their NFL players, whatever. Yeah. Is Bam good enough from what you've seen?
Yeah.
Because if you're not great, it doesn't really matter. Either you're great or it doesn't matter kind of thing.
I mean, listen, yeah. I mean, in terms of like, for this offense, Bam is good enough.
Yeah.
Like they're not asking him to be, they're not asking any of their running backs to be a Derrick Henry or, I'm trying to think of other backs that I've played, Saquon Barkley. Like they're not looking for that out of their offense. It doesn't even fit within their offense because they don't emphasize the run game. That I'm sure if they had a Saquon Barkley, the offense will be built around Saquon Barkley. There's no one out there that you're going to go get that's going to just immediately change the way that you run your offense. So in terms of, is Bam Knight good enough? Like for what they do, yes. Like that's my take on it. I mean, I don't know, man. Like the running back thing does not, for me, it doesn't take me over the edge in terms of what the Cardinals can do.
Unless it's something for the future too, and not just this year.
Sure.
But I don't like, okay, there's a name where I'm like, it cannot be. Like if it's Chuba Hubbard, I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
Like, because Rico's the guy now in Carolina. It's addition by subtraction. They've got Jonathan Brooks from Texas, who was an all-world dude who tore his ACL 2 years in a row. Like that would not make sense for me. A guy that already makes money, a guy that is 26.
Yeah.
I guess, he's still in the wheelhouse, but like, you don't need splash right now.
No.
You need consistency.
Yeah, I think, look, what you said about them riding it out with the guys they have, the Cardinals as an organization and as a team take me as they're going to draft someone in a late round and he's going to be a backup, whether it's to Trey Benson, Amari DiMercado. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go find a young guy that, is available in the draft. Like, I don't think that this team is this team's not in the phase of we get a running back, we're on the right path. Like they're trying to figure out some other things. The running back is secondary and maybe not even secondary in terms of like what's on the line for them right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you told me they trade a first-round pick for Brian Thomas Jr., we can have a conversation. You want to get weird, we can have a conversation. Sure. But if it's a running back, it's like talking about non-premium positions in the NFL, it was, and it is now, like if you've got a great one with their like 4 of them, they're like, okay, you get 30 touches. You get Arian Foster touches for 4 years until your legs fall off. Like by and large, it doesn't really matter. You got to have good guys that are good for the system. Like, was Damian Williams there when you were there in Miami? Okay, he's a perfect example. So, like, he was for those who don't remember, like, this is kind of inside football, but it'll make sense. He's a perfect mix of Bam Knight and Amari DiMercato. He was kind of a scat back, but he could also run between the tackles. He was kind of a no man's land, and then he went to Kansas City, and he was the best running back in football.
Tore it up.
So it's like he was a touchdown machine. It's like it's the system, and you're right about Drew Petzing. Like, it's the system. It doesn't matter. It's not going to elevate anybody. Either people can do it or they can't in this.
Yeah. Even in terms of like I'm thinking about DeAndre Swift, right? And DeAndre Swift and what he does. I mean, just a year ago, even, earlier this year, there was, he can't find the right hole. He's not able to, take advantage of what the offensive line is doing. They go and they bolster up that offensive line. The offensive line is now opening holes up for him, and he's able to choose where to go. And so, in terms of like, that's what the Cardinals have to do next. Like, it's not make a splash at running back. It's address the offensive line in terms of what you really want your offense to be, known for, and then build around that. I think building up front, I know I'm a former offensive lineman, but I'm going to start building up front, and I'll see, can these backs that have obviously made it to the NFL, can they, be productive around my offensive line? If not, then it's time to go make a splash and do things like that.
Yeah, I mean, the last thing with that is, like, for those that don't remember, DeAndre Swift's first year, Ben Johnson was in Detroit. So, like, it's still the same scheme, and they were able to work it around him with the offensive line. Can we just talk about how I don't care if a guy goes to Wisconsin Clearwater or goes to North Dakota State like Gray Zabel, like that Quinn Miners kid in Denver is one of the best offensive linemen in football.
100%.
I was screaming for Gray Zabel, who could play both left and right guards and center at 16. We'll see what happens with Walter Nolan, but you're right. Like, they're reaping what they've sowed on the offensive side of the ball when just focusing on defense through the draft and free agency.
100%.
We're starting to see how many problems they have and so many more questions and answers, and they're not fun ones like they were when the season started.
We're going to have more answers tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll have another show for you guys. Double duty before we get ready for Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. But with that being said, for everyone in the chat tuning in, we appreciate you guys being here. For Clancy, my guy Jamil Douglas, myself, Benjamin Garcia, thanks for tuning in the Cardinal Squad Show. We will see you guys tomorrow.